Good morning from beautiful Needles, California. Let me start off this morning by dispelling some myths, okay? For the entire time I was in New Mexico and Arizona and now on to the Mojave Desert, never once have I seen any piles of seed in the highway saying free bird food, particularly around cliffs. So that was kind of a disappointment. I was hoping to meet Wile E. Coyote at some point. I met Smokey Bear, right? Why not Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner? Number two is that being from Virginia, people who say stuff like, oh, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. I hate to admit it publicly, but they're right. People that know me know it's 72 degrees. If the humidity's up, I'll sweat a lot. It was 100 degrees yesterday here in California, where I am. Hardly anything. I was amazed. It definitely is the humidity. So, still had a fun time though, getting out and actually getting to meet burros and stuff. And it's just like, it's 100 degrees. What? Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to get out of the car. It's going to be horrible, but I want to see these guys. It was nice. So, I'm going to be starting off in Needles today, just slowly cruising. I'm kind of wanting to hit the Santa Monica Pier and the endpoint on Sunday morning, definitely weekend without traffic, but I don't want to get there too late. I'm kind of more of the, let's go sneak in and out of there in the morning and then figure out what we're doing. So I'm just going to kind of take it easy today and cruise around California a little bit and see some stuff while I'm out here. So what can you do, right? Other thing that's really surprising is gas prices. It's almost $5 a gallon out here for just unleaded. So yeah, I can see why these people get upset. So just something for people to think about if they're planning 66 budgets. That being said, I'm gonna get packed up and get going here. See where the road takes me. Coming from Route 66 in Needles, California this morning. First thing we are seeing is the Needles wagon. This is an actual old wagon that's been restored for this purpose. From what I understand, it was originally made to it was actually a Studebaker wagon used by the borax company to transport borax, the 20 mule team. It's where that saying came from. So weird history facts you uncover on these trips. But that is a pretty impressive wagon. I could see where it would take 20 mules to pull that thing. And just down the road from the borax wagon is a mural and an advertisement for the liquor store and mini mart, but that is really nice. It's got that kind of desert sunrise captured very well behind the car. And not even a block up the road is another wall mural. See, little things that you discover just driving through these towns. Right across from that one, I see what I have been suspecting I would find. Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and Snoopy's brother Spike from Needles, California. Another Needles Route 66 marker. So Needles in all the Route 66 literature is billed as the gateway to California, and that seems to be becoming quite prominent in this town. Needles Museum and more Spike. So I am not disappointed at all. Just nice to have a town with this kind of spirit, you know? Crossing the street to the museum are the Route 66 markers painted into the street. It's always refreshing to see those. So greeting us as soon as we walk into the museum is Spike. And right next to him is a poster detailing all the information about Spike and Charles Schultz. You lived here briefly in Needles, and that is a historical beauty right there. And Needles is located right along the Colorado River. And these are models of the steamboats that used to bring people and supplies up to build the town and the bridges and the infrastructure. This is seeming to be a repetitive theme in the past 2 days. And here I am at the museum in Needles, and what do they have? Waffles. So on the way out of the Needles Museum, I noticed this on the wall, and as soon as I walked in the door when I came in, I got focused on seeing Spike. So Santa Fe, they were telling me, started the Santa Fe Railroad came through here, and Needles started out as a place where they would change crews on the trains, and it grew up from there. And it was right on the Colorado, so it was easy to get supplies brought up here by steamboat, except when the Colorado was flooding. And that is why it is called Needles, because of the formations. And this was the first big Colorado River bridge across the Colorado here in Needles. It's no longer there, but supplies for that were able to be brought up the river by steamboat, so it just worked out perfectly. Just loving the murals that I'm seeing along 66, especially out here in California. And this is at an auto salvage place. So heading west out of Needles, there's I would guess about a half-mile stretch of, they call the rock sculptures, and their memorials, their sculptures honoring the different services and the people who gave their lives for our country. U.S. Coast Guard, and right across the street from that one is the Army. And quite a bit of work went into these. I'm going to zoom down the side of the road, see if you can make out very many of them. But like I said, they are along here for about a half a mile. Next stop on Route 66 going across the Mojave Desert is Goffs, California. Here at the official Route 66 site here, the Old Schoolhouse Museum. This is just got its own unique, strange beauty to it. I mean, look at this. When's the last time you ever saw a purple cactus? And there's just all kinds of cactus growing over here. So the gentleman here at the schoolhouse was telling me they've got 75 acres of outdoor stuff too. So I'm going to go take a look here. Interesting piece of history here. So they had these beacons out here in the desert, and the airmail pilots flying at night used to be able to see the lights from above and help stay on course. For those who like tequila, this is an agave plant, huge, and stalk comes up very quickly, then blooms, And the plant does not last too much longer after that. And this one is just starting to flower, which is a pretty rare sight that because it's so short-lived, once it puts the stalk up and flowers. So a gentleman here was telling me about it. It's a pretty rare sight. And here's another well-timed opportunity. He's telling me this plant blooms twice a year for a couple of days, and to actually catch one in bloom is just a fantastic piece of luck. So that plant over there that was blooming was called an Ocotillo.
Ocotillo. O-C-O-T-I-L-L-O.
What he said. Okay. That is a very cute fuzzy cactus. I'm really doing good with plants today. This cactus is starting to bloom. Going out the gate of the schoolhouse, saw this sign. It's like, I'm glad I have that awareness, because coming around a turn and seeing a burrow in the middle of the highway will get your attention. This is exactly what people have been telling me, that there are some sections of 66 down here that are closed. So have to get back on 40 and see how far we have to go. I have no idea why, but there is a Chinese food dog statue sitting alongside Route 66 in the middle of the desert. Having found ways around the closed sections of Route 66, have come to Amboy, California, which according to this is a vital rest stop for weary, sun-drenched travelers. And to be honest with you, kind of driving along out here where there is absolutely nothing, I can appreciate that. Here in Amboy is the well-known to the Route 66 community, Roy's Motel. So it doesn't look like the motel is still in business, but it is just nice that it's preserved. Interestingly enough, out here, there's still a fairly new post office. So here in Ludlow, we're at the Ludlow Cafe. Came very, very highly recommended to me by somebody out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this. And again, some mining memorabilia out in front of the store. And quite a bit of history in this little town. So the food's got to be good. This is really convenient. Right here on the back of the menu is a thing about the history of Ludlow, another water stop for steam engines. Then gold was discovered in the area. So here's some of the interesting facts. Until 1988, telephones had no dials, and you waited for the operator in San Bernardino or LA to pick up the line and place a call out. When calling into Ludlow, the operator was needed to ring into the phone numbers, which were 1, 2, 3, etc. Each location had to listen for the distinctive rings to identify which business they were ringing for. This was in 1988. 66 west of Ludlow, California is again closed. Yeah, I was told that the roads out 66 out here is, hit or miss, and that a lot of it is in dangerous condition Bridges have been washed out. People have been stuck, and it's really poor. You know, cell phone out here. So, gonna have to get back on the highway. We have arrived safely in Barstow, California. And for those who are familiar with my taste in literature and my fondness for the works of Dr. Hunter S. Thompson, the late Dr. Hunter S. Thompson, we're somewhere near Barstow when the drugs began to take hold. I remember feeling a bit lightheaded, saying maybe you should drive. And all of a sudden there was a whoosh, and the air around the car was filled with what looked to be savage-fanged bats. Now, so far coming across the Mojave Desert, I didn't see any bats, but I could definitely understand hallucinating out there. So, but we are in Barstow. Barstow has some nice murals on buildings too. There are a couple of different signs like this, these Route 66 markers in Barstow, different vehicles on top of them. This is an actual thing on 66. This is Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch. Okay, I'm probably not going to spend anything to go in, but it's just, like I said, the things along 66 that people have come up with, the creativity and the imagination are just... The mural along the Victorville, Main Street of America, Route 66 Museum. The museum bill is greeting us.
Yep, that's it.
That is pretty creative. And we can identify this structure, and it is realistic on the inside too. And yes, those are corn cobs. We are at the historic Wigwam Motel in San Bernardino. This is, of course, an official Route 66 roadside attraction. It's kind of bizarre in the middle of the city of San Bernardino, but it's still here. Making an exception to the No Chains place, I'm in California. This is In-N-Out Burger. I have heard Fluffy talk about In-N-Out Burger for years. And of course we don't have them on the East Coast, so this is going to be my one and only chance to try In-N-Out Burger. I'll let you know if he's lying. So simple, straightforward menu. No complications, no surprises. This is the famous In-N-Out Burger order. Cheeseburger and fries and a shake. Let's check this out. Let me start off by answering the question on everybody's mind. Yes, Fluffy was spot on. In-N-Out Burger is amazing. Even the bun is great. You know, had a nice piece of meat, American cheese. The lettuce and tomato were nice and fresh. I mean, the lettuce was lettuce leaves, not the shredded mess that so many places are using today. Fries are made from like real potatoes, peeled and cut and fried right there in the store. So it was a really good dinner. We're in San Bernardino tonight. It's been a long day, lots of driving through the desert and then getting stuck in California traffic once we got to San Bernardino. So what's really struck me is that when 66 brings you into San Bernardino, it brings you in through like an industrial section, lots of poverty, saw lots of homeless people. If you've heard the reports about California, I haven't made it to LA yet, and I'm seeing it quite a bit. That's concerning, but made it to the motel. Gonna work on the video, get this uploaded, and get a good night's sleep, and see what tomorrow brings me. Y'all have a good night.